Hello, and welcome to the Marshfield Clinic Health System AmeriCorps Community Corps Info Session. My name is Megan Heyer, and I'm the manager for the Community Corps program. The goal of this session is to give you an overview of the program and what to expect if you're interested in applying to host an AmeriCorps member. So to start off, the Marshfield Clinic Health System has a strong history with AmeriCorps. We've had AmeriCorps programs for 23 years on a variety of different topics and different types of programs, just depending on the community needs. So we've hosted over 1,100 AmeriCorps members. And right now, currently, we have two AmeriCorps programs, the Community Corps program, which I'm here to tell you about today, and the Recovery Corps program, which is another great program we have statewide. So if you're interested in that program, please reach out and I can get you connected with that team. But I'll also explain a little bit more about Community Corps specifically and where that funding comes from. And that's Public Health AmeriCorps, which is a new partnership between AmeriCorps and the CDC, and these two organizations came together to provide this funding with two main goals. The first one is to address local public health needs in underserved communities, and the second is to create pathways to good quality public health careers through the on-site experience and training that the AmeriCorps members receive as being an AmeriCorps member at host sites. So Community Corps then is really a program designed to increase capacity at organizations that are specifically focused on health priorities. So we're a statewide program and we have a capacity to host 80 full-time AmeriCorps members each term. In addition to full-time members, we do also accept three-quarter time and half-time members as well. So the different amount of hours per week are listed on the slide here. Encourage you to pursue a full-time member, but depending on the needs of your organization and the needs of a member applying, you may be open to a three-quarter time or half-time position. Something that I do want to highlight right away, especially for returning sites, is our new updated teleservice policy. So this went into effect and will may affect some teleservice moving forward. And so we will now need prior approval and justification for any member that will be teleserving. So there will be an approval process and we'll provide more information on that once the term begins. And another important thing to note is that 100% remote service is no longer allowed. So there will need to be some on-site or in-person service happening within the communities. Otherwise, really, I want to talk about the program purpose. So the purpose for the organization, but also the AmeriCorps members' purpose. So for the organization, it's really about advancing those health priorities in your communities through increased capacity. So capacity can look in three different ways. So that could be increased efficiency of your programs. It could be through effectiveness, or it could be through program reach. So expanding the populations or the communities that you're reaching with your current program offerings. So if you're thinking about applying an AmeriCorps, think about your capacity and where you could use an AmeriCorps member to help increase capacity in any one or all of these three areas. And really, it's just about getting things done, which is what the members sign up for and are there to do with your organization in the community. So members are passionate about service and impacting the community. And so they're there to be busy and be in the community and help out your organization as much as possible. But the second main reason why AmeriCorps members join the program is because of the member development that they receive. So Marshfield Clinic, the program, we provide community health worker training. We provide training on the foundational concepts of public health, several professional development related sessions and trainings, and also on volunteer engagement. So we really try to set the member up for success, not only at your site, for their service term, but then beyond for their career development and hopefully a future career in public health. So it's really about that on-site job experience that they get as an AmeriCorps member and making a difference in the community. So a question that we get asked a lot is, am I eligible to apply? Is my organization a good fit? The two easy questions you can ask yourself is, am I a nonprofit or public government um, association or organization? And then the second question is, does my organization impact the health of communities? So for most people, that's a yes, but sometimes seeing this list of health priorities helps kind of define and really show off the broad net that we have with the community core program. So whether that be chronic disease, healthy growth and development, um, reproductive and sexual health, physical health, mental health is a really common area for organizations to impact. And then there's even more um, areas within that other health related focus area. So that could be social determinants of health, housing, food access. All of those are great fits for the Community Core program. And your organization, you may find, will fit into one specific of these categories, which is totally fine, or you may have an organization that impacts more than one or all of these, and that's totally acceptable too. So there's lots of opportunity for your organization to be a good fit for the AmeriCorps program, Community Core. It's always helpful to see some examples. And so on the screen are just examples of past host sites that we've had and what the members were doing at those type of host sites. So for out of school programs, the members will be supporting nutrition programs, maybe an active living or physical activity program. Of course, mental health or homework support are all good examples for that type of organization. A member serving at a suicide prevention resource center could focus on education, programming, maybe social media or community advocacy. Environmental organizations are a good fit because they really focus on the relationships between people and their environment and overall are trying to build safer communities. Food pantries, often members will focus on healthy food access or food deserts, transportation issues, all of those are a good fit. And then, coalitions, volunteer centers, there's really um, no organization that wouldn't be a good fit if you're focusing on community health in some fashion. And depending on what your needs are in your organization will depend on what your member will be doing. So health departments, healthcare organizations, those are also good examples of where members have served in the past. Referral programs, that's on the last bullet point there, very common as well as what community health workers are, is that connection between the community and the services that are being offered. So a lot of times that's a big need in communities, is having someone to help connect the resources to those that need it. So what is the commitment for a host site, and what's going to be required for you to be part of this program? The biggest thing would be the cash match contribution. That is a charge for each host site per member. And so that won't be invoiced once until the member starts, typically a few weeks, and then you'll have about 60 days to get that payment submitted. But that's your only financial commitment for hosting an AmeriCorps member. All the living stipend and other member benefits are paid through from the program through Marshfield Clinic. Other than the financial commitment, we will ask a commitment of a host site supervisor. So there must be a supervisor for each member. It could be the same person or it could be somebody different, but that supervisor will need to meet with their member a minimum of once per week and really be that go-to person and support for the member as they're going throughout their service term. Host sites are also required to recruit their own member, And so we have found in the past that local recruitment is the most successful because organizations know their community best and they know the needs of the type of the member that they are looking for. We at Marshfield Clinic will be helping with member recruitment. So we do our own recruitment strategies, and we'll help facilitate that recruitment process for you. So there's a lot of tip sheets and guidelines and strategies that will help with member recruitment. But ultimately, we're expecting host sites to recruit your own member. Once the member is recruited, then AmeriCorps Marshfield Clinic takes it over and we enroll the member and get them trained at orientation week so that they're ready to go for your site that second week. Host sites also just need to identify the need of where their capacity is. So we'll have a organizational capacity assessment that will kind of help you and your host site decide, where are those needs for capacity, and what will the member actually be doing to address those gaps. And then lastly, something to think about is needing office space or supplies, equipment, anything that your AmeriCorps member might need to do their service and activities that you have planned for them successfully. So we don't provide them with, a laptop or any sort of equipment. So if that's something that they'll need for your organization, that would be something that you would have to provide. More specifically for host site supervisors, in addition to meeting with their member once per week, need to review and approve all of the member timesheets. So a member will fill out daily timesheets on the different tasks that they're completing at your site. And at the end of the week, they'll submit their timesheet, and supervisors need to review and approve those to ensure accuracy. Host site supervisors, again, just provide that daily support to the member. So they're the member's go-to if they have questions, if they need time off. They really serve as the on-site supervisor for this member or members. And host site supervisors are expected to monitor the member's progress through the member service plan. Member service plan we do go over in detail at host site supervisor training, but really it's a document that outlines the different activities that the member will be working on, and the planned accomplishments and outcomes. So that's a document that's referenced frequently to ensure that the member is getting out of the service that they need to and that they're making progress and having an impact at your site. Now about a little bit about Marshfield Clinic's role. So I mentioned onboarding and enrollment. We take care of all of that for the member, which includes background checks and fingerprinting. Um, and of course, we order them service gear, enroll them in their necessary or needed benefits. We take care of all of that and really serve as the HR for AmeriCorps members. We also train them for an entire week, that first week at orientation, and try to help prepare and get them ready to serve. We spend one day with host site supervisors training you all or your supervisors on how to successfully supervise and manage your AmeriCorps member. And then we provide monthly team meetings for our members. The first Thursday of every month, we get all of our AmeriCorps members together and provide them with necessary updates and any new trainings. We also have a staff that will be assigned to each of your members to support them with any technical issues or reporting, and just to be that go-to person for your site so that they can have somebody to reach out to from Marshfield Clinic. And then we also just do numerous additional trainings throughout the service term, depending on the type of organizations that we have enrolled and requests that we get from members and host sites. So we're here to provide any of that additional training that might be needed for the member. So here's a list of some of the benefits of hosting an AmeriCorps member. So of course you get, 35 to 40 hours per week of time from an AmeriCorps member to get things done at your host site. So they're filling in those gaps in capacity, and those are identified through the organizational capacity assessment. And then that member service plan is developed to address those gaps. And AmeriCorps members are really unique because they are so committed and passionate, and you get them for an entire year. So this is similar to an internship, except that it's really longer term. So it's a great investment because although you put time into training and getting your member ready to complete the activities that are assigned, but you have them for an entire year or more, so you can really develop that relationship, and AmeriCorps members can accomplish some pretty awesome things because they are passionate, dedicated, and just ready to serve and get things done. Like I mentioned, AmeriCorps members can serve more than a year potentially. So if the member is interested, they can serve up to 4 terms. So you potentially could have them at your site for up to 4 years. And really, back to the purpose of the whole program, community corps members are really there to address those gaps or certain programs needs that you haven't had time or maybe the capacity or haven't got the attention that they needed. So AmeriCorps members are not meant to replace any existing staff. They are there to, increase the efficiency or effectiveness or expand your programming. And so the biggest and easiest benefit to see about hosting an AmeriCorps member is that the investment is less than $3 per hour. So it's a good investment for your organization if you know, you want to get more things done in the community. You have certain things that you haven't been able to accomplish. This is a good way to do it through hosting an AmeriCorps member for a low cost. And the host site cash match payment is all listed out on the info packet. On that second page, you'll see the current member benefits and the current cash match for this term. I do want to talk about member benefits because that's important to know what's in it for the member. They do receive a modest living allowance that comes every 2 weeks through Marshall Clinic's payroll system. And so that's paid through the Marshall Clinic program. Full-time members also have the opportunity to get health insurance and child care. Health insurance is a no premium, low deductible plan, and child care potentially can be covered 80% or more of costs. So those are two wonderful benefits for full-time members. Members can also participate in loan forbearance if they qualify. And the Education Award is also something that is given out to any member that completes a successful term. And those Education Award amounts are listed on that info packet as well. Beyond all of those, monetary benefits, they also get all of the training, they get service gear, they're part of an awesome AmeriCorps team statewide, and so they have that camaraderie, and that kind of leads into the intangible benefit of being an AmeriCorps member is really it's an experience unlike any other. So they're getting job or on-site experience, but making such a big impact in the community. So it's really can be a good stepping stone for AmeriCorps members or just a way for them to get involved in their community. Here's a little bit more about what to expect for the timeline. So once you submit your application, we will do our best to approve or make any adjustments within 1 week of you applying. And then member recruitment can begin once you are approved. So the sooner you get started, the better. So we encourage you to get your applications in, and then we'll start sending you some information on how to begin member recruitment because September will be here before we know it. And we want to make sure that all sites are able to get members filled into their positions. Members do start that first week with us at orientation, where they learn about AmeriCorps history, program guidelines, all the reporting that they'll have to do, which isn't a lot, but we do want to make sure they're aware of all of that, how to submit timesheets, and get the AmeriCorps team momentum going at orientation. And then they'll start with your host site the following week. And then from there on out, they're serving at your site. So if you're interested in applying, the first step would be to make sure you have that host site information packet reviewed. It is a longer document, but it goes into more detail of what I talked about today and also has the policies that are relevant. So make sure to review that packet in full before you apply. And then the next step would be to apply online. And on this slide, I have some information that might be helpful for you to know before you apply or information that you'll want to gather. So the service area or counties that you serve in, your organization's mission, the number of members that you'll be applying for. So that will be something you'll want to have a conversation about. What is the need in my organization? Will I need a half-time member, full-time member, more than one member? So you want to make sure you have a discussion about that and indicate that on your application. And then in bold here is the most important part of your application, but that's what is your plan for hosting an AmeriCorps member? What will the member actually be doing as your host site? That's important for us as we're reviewing these applications to see if AmeriCorps will be a good fit for your host site. So try to be as detailed as you can on that section. And then a few other things, host site supervisor name, if you know who that will be, your EIN number, and then billing contact info for that invoice that we'll send once the member starts. Just so you know, you can save and return the application later if you need to come back to it as you gather more information. So feel free to utilize that. And then once you have all of the fields fill out, you do have to sign the application because that's your agreement and then submit the application. And then we will reach out within a week to approve or ask for some clarifying questions. So with that, if you do have any questions, or even if you just want to learn more about how your program might be a good fit, or just learn more about the program, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm happy to meet with you and answer any questions. But otherwise, we are excited for another great year of service, and we can't wait for you to be part of it. Thank you so much.